Welcome to the Witching Hour, a midnight broadcast from deep in the swamp on the outskirts of town. There has been an uptick of cattle mutilations in the Howler's Holler area. Upon waking for the morning, local ranchers discover their herds of cows and sheep and goats, their bodies drained completely of blood and arranged in ominous concentric circles in the middle of the pasture, their innards strung out and intertwined like the threads of some sort of demented dream catcher. What could this possibly mean? We sent an unpaid intern to Crack Farm, home of Rusty and Poppy Crack, whose herd of phosphorescent goats were discovered in this very configuration.
Hi, I'm Timothy Blurt, and this is Cryptids in Cars Getting Coffee! Come along as I take cryptids to coffee in my souped-up chrome pretension. Share a latte with the Pope Lick Monster. No, not that one, the other one. Watch me drink a latte from the same cup that touched the same lips that played gatekeeper to the very tongue that licked the Pope. Fine, it's just my friend Gary, but he is a monster on the dance floor, and he really is banned from the Vatican. Yeah, this is kind of what I do on a daily basis. Drive around, looking for cryptids. They're easier to find than you'd think. Heads up, there's one. Hey! Hey! Mr. Slenderman! Wanna grab a coffee? Okay, buddy, you take care now. Yeah, he's a sweet guy, really. Cryptids in cars, getting coffee. Yeah.
Speaking of Crack Farm, it is Crack History Month. In this episode, we will dive deeply into the Cracks, one of Holler's oldest families. The town of Holler was founded in 1890 when a little over 100 men, women, and children spontaneously appeared in the middle of a swamp in an unspecified location in the southern United States. These people immediately began to build a town, which immediately began to sink into the bog. Undeterred, they immediately began to build another town. After nearly a dozen towns had been constructed and devoured by the swamp, the group skipped the building phase completely and began shoving raw materials, rocks, garbage, dead animals, and dirt from a nearby field into the murky water.
It really was an architectural feat at the time. It just goes to show you that what a group of people lacks in intelligence and carpentry skills, they make up for with a strong sense of community and the idea that if you keep chucking random refuse into a swamp, eventually you'll get somewhere.
They could have built their settlement in that field nearby, but once these people put their minds to something, that was it. In the end, what they ended up with was a rickety town built on top of 19th century equivalent of a garbage dump and an enormous hole in the ground that later became the valley where radioactive goats graze today. You may be wondering what this has to do with the Cracks. Among those determined settlers who dug a hole, built a trash heap, and then built a town, one man stood out amongst the rest. This was Seymour Crack.
He mainly stood out because of a single distinctive bodily feature.
He had an enormous mustache. Some say it had a life of its own. Some say it left his face on occasion and scuttled around the town doing his master's bidding. We know he talked to it. Some say it talked back.
Seymour Crack and his wife, Mara Crack, had two sons,
Jackson, and Jacks Off Crack. Jacks Off and his wife, Joe Crack, had no children.
We speculate this was because he was impotent. His brother, on the other hand, had 2 sons with his wife Maya Crack. The eldest son, Buster Crack, never married, but he had a dog named Sidewalk.
Sidewalk Crack was Buster's familiar, and some people speculate that she was a were-human whom Buster regularly copulated with on the new moon. That would certainly explain all those hunting accidents he was prone to when he and Sidewalk ventured out into the woods. Also explains the howling. Yeah.
Luckily for Buster, his brother, Mike Crack, was the town physician, and he knew how to keep his mouth shut. He did, however, keep a detailed diary. That diary can be viewed at the Howler's Holler Library and Fish Market. Simply slip a crisp, dehydrated halibut to Annabelle. One of our unpaid interns did just that. Here are several excerpts.
May 17. Obadiah Lamp has returned to my practice with another mysterious rash, and I once again asked him if he was feeding the giant squid in the underground lake. He replied in the negative, but his complete inability to meet my eye convinced me otherwise. I have warned him time and time again about Agatha, but that fool just will not listen. Mary Biscuit came into my office, complaining that her blood's turned contrary. I told her that it was simply a side effect of vampirism, that it was not really her blood, and she should be more discerning when selecting her partners. She applauded me for my ingenious solution and formulated what she called a rotating meal plan. She seemed particularly keen on bringing Bernard Brainard into the fold as a regular dish. When Maggie finally left, I hurried to Bernard's house on the edge of the garbage-filled bog and warned him of Maggie's machinations. Bernard seemed strangely excited by the prospect. May 19. In the wee hours of the morning, young Marty Hops appeared in a panic, declaring that his head was falling off. He did indeed seem to have a small incision around the circumference of his neck. I am bewildered by this. May 26. I found my brother Buster on my front stoop again, asleep with his faithful dog Sidewalk spread out on top of him. It was the new moon. I had heard the usual howls in the night. I had anticipated this. I treated his injuries from the hunting accident, noting with the usual dismay that any bite marks upon his neck, chest, and other areas appeared to be human in origin. I finally confronted him about this, assuring him that I would not be angry. Buster admitted that he had met an extraordinary woman, one who was gentleness itself one moment and violently passionate the next. I was angry. I am not angry, I said. I am simply relieved that you found a woman who suits you. I do not care if she bites, so long as she is a woman. He asked me, what is that supposed to mean? I told him frankly that the family had long-voiced concerns that Buster was secretive about his late-night tryst because he had taken up with another man. Not that there's anything wrong with that. The fact that his new moon rendezvous was with a bloodthirsty maniac of a woman was a marked relief in my book. Later that day, Marty Hops returns to my infirmary carrying his head under his arm.
Come on down to the Cracked Spine Bookshop, run by Ashley Crack. In honor of Crack History Month, Ashley has compiled a list of the top 10 best-selling books in her shop. Brewing Behind Bars, 60 potions you can brew in a penitentiary toilet. Necromancy with Squirrels. Top 10 must-brew potions for the stay at Hovel Witch. The Man with the Magic Shit. Astrology, your personality based on your sphincter. Breadbox tentacles and other must-have items for your home. Got Goo? A field guide. Giant Squid Games, One spectral rooster's account of his whirlpool romance with Agatha. Fish with Legs, a book for children to fuel their nightmares. How to get ahead in shrunken head husbandry. Buster Crack eventually brought his girlfriend to a family dinner. The following is a reenactment.
Stop, Sidewalk. No, no. Bad girl, Sidewalk.
Sidewalk. No, sidewalk.
No.
Sidewalk. Get off of him. Next broadcast, the history of the Crack family continues. It's a tale of two brothers turned rivals for the love of a mild-mannered dog who became a feral human woman on the new moon. When your brother's girlfriend leaps across the dinner table and latches onto your neck, there's only one explanation. She wants to eat you up. You mean, like food? Not exclusively, but that could be part of it. Of course, Scooter Crack was a werewolf. No one in their right mind would name a regular human Scooter. He's not my son, Mike. He looks just like you. It is certainly difficult to perpetuate an affair with someone who sheds so much. They are sweet boys, but if they keep fighting like this, I'm eating the taller one. The Witching Hour was written and edited by Hannah Kubiak and featured the vocal talents of Taryn Sebald. The theme music was Lullaby by Kim Lightyear. Special thanks to the Witching Hour's Patreon supporters, Justin, Patrick, and Zach. You can become a patron at patreon.com/thewitchinghourbroadcast. Maya Crack, Mara Crack, Seymour Crack, Buster Crack. Such a stupid show.